How are the discussions? Huh? Good and interesting. Edward? We now beginning to see the bigger picture. In fact, not the bigger picture, but the big picture. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so those were the 4 questions that we were tasked with, tackling during our sessions. And I think just to recap on the questions. Number 1 was, what are the skills gaps in wage and self-employment, and how would you address them practically? 1A was, do you have a strategic workforce plan? What are your skills needs in the next 5 years? What is the role of the hubs and the services that they provide? That's the general role, but we'll wait to hear from you and see what comes out as well. And the last one was, how do you wish to engage with the hubs to fulfill your requirements, needs? Just a recap of those questions, which I believe all groups tackled adequately. So, who was in group 1? Okay. 3? Okay, we will start in reverse order. So, can we have 3? Because they were just completing when I got them, so it must be fresh in their mind. 3, did you put?
I can help you.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Second and third.
Yes.
So when I have suggested that we do it in reverse order, so we'll have 3 first, then 2, then 1. Yeah? Group 1 will go last. I will hand over the mic.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. In group 3, for the first question, it was like, what are the skill gaps in wage and self-employment, and how will you address them practically? Yeah, so we divided them into 2. So for the skill gaps in self-employment, we had them in general. There was lack of startup capital. We realized that a lot of startups don't have enough money to start their businesses, but they have very good ideas. There's lack of marketing skills. We realize that as a young startup, you don't know how to market your products very well into the market. Some of them know, but most of the young people do not know how to market their skills. We have lack of appropriate networks. Since you're new in the business, you don't know who to talk to, who are the right people to market your business to, who are the right people should I talk to help me incubate my business. And another one, we had lack of financial literacy skills. Most startups don't know how to do their bookkeeping. They don't know how to get their invoices done. They don't know this process of banking and how to keep records of their financial management skills. Another thing was communication skills. We found out that a lot of startups do not know how to present their business ideas. They do not know how to stand in front of people, how to market themselves to the public, and how to market their products. So we had started them. When we started, we had generalized all of them. And then an idea came up and we said, like, we have soft skills and we have technical skills. So we decided to divide them. Some of them we've talked about. I won't repeat much about them, like communication skills in self-employment, networking skills skills that I've already listed it up there. Time management. We realize that as a young entrepreneur, you realize that maybe you don't know how to keep time when you're called for meetings. Sometimes you fail to turn up and things like that, or maybe you've been given an application and you fail to apply on time, so you miss those opportunities. Another thing is relationship building and management. Like you meet people like the way we have met all of us here, but you don't know how to build relationships with people. So at the end of the conference or the trainings, once you're out of here, that's it for you. And then another thing is attitude. We realize that most entrepreneurs, some of them have bad attitude or negative attitude towards their business, even the way they interact with people, the way they maintain relationships. It just has a problem with the way they manage their business. Another problem we had was flexibility to cultural awareness and diversity. Like I might go to a different place or a different culture and I don't know how to interact with them, or I interact with them in a way that offends them. So it becomes a problem as an entrepreneur. Or you're supposed to sell your product to a community, or it targets a certain community, but you have biases towards that community. It becomes a problem. On technical skills, we had the financial literacy that I had spoken about, bookkeeping and accounting, which is a big problem for people who are starting up their businesses. Business and product development, like you don't know how to package your business and how to ensure that you develop your products from the ideation stage until it reaches the market stage. Another problem is human resource. You don't know how to interact with your employees. You don't know how to hire the right employees into your business. It becomes a problem. And also ICT adaptation. With the way the world is changing, you don't want to integrate the way internet into your business and see how you can use social media and all these other platforms and websites into your business. For the wage, the skill gaps that we were able to address was lack of information. You want to get a job, but you don't know where to get information on the job that you're applying for, or where to get information on how you can get that job. Communication skills, you don't know how to present yourself in front of interviewees and you have a problem communicating to people. Self-presentation, the way you dress when you're going for an interview, the way you talk to the interviewees, the way you present your CV. You don't have CV writing skills, your physical appearance, and also your verbal, the way you talk and your verbal cues are not adding up to your presentation. We also we have lack of technical skills. So sometimes we realize that in the wage gap, we realize that we have two skills. We have the skills shortage, where the jobs are there, but you don't have the skills to apply for the job. Or also there's also skill gaps, where we have like you as an individual, you don't have the right skills for that job. We also had research and analysis skills. You might have finished school maybe 10 years ago and things have changed in the market, so you're not keeping up with what is trending in your what can I say? Yeah, in what you had been trained for. So you end up going for an interview and you didn't do enough research to understand what is trending in the market that you studied for. So how do we address this? We said we address it through practical trainings. Practical trainings like training people on business development skills, internships, placements, and mentorship programs. Skills upgrading. Every time you have to keep on upgrading your skills by maybe going online, applying for programs, or even going to technical institutes and learning more on the skills that you are taught. We also need to integrate ICT in training so that we can keep up with the current trends. We also need to integrate partnerships in training, like learn the right people, like the way all of us are here. So once we start partnering with different people, we can synergize to come up with great solutions. And another thing is integrating business skills trainings to enhance soft skills for young people. That was the number 2. And number 2, the question was, if you have a strategic workforce plan, what are your skills need in the next 5 years? We skipped that one and we were like, we will learn along from what other groups are presenting. So that one maybe another group will give us more insight into it. On number 3, we have the role of, what is the role of hubs and what are the services in addressing the skill gaps? And how will the hubs address those gaps practically? So in number 3, the role of hubs we saw is providing information on business opportunities. They also provide tailor-made trainings for entrepreneurs. They also do business incubation, where they bring businesses from different places and different skills to come and be incubated in the hubs. They also they create a network, because once you come to the hubs, you meet other business-like-minded people, and also the trainers that you meet there were able to link you up to other opportunities. They also provide financial linkages and marketing. Like even when we were in the groups, we saw the way the lab is providing financial opportunities and linkages to farmers, which is such a good thing. They also assist in business marketing and development. We saw they have platform online where they market other farmers who have registered in those platforms. They do coaching and mentorship where they link you up to a coach and mentor who helps you walk through your business as you're working. And they also offer placement and attachments, which is also something we saw the hubs are doing. So on question, and okay, what was the other one? How do you wish to engage with the hub to fulfill your requirements and needs? So what we saw, like if we have to engage with the hub, we have to have strategic engagements with hubs for skills enhancement and bridging the gap between labor force and market through all these roles that the hubs are creating. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So group 2. Kelvin, will you be able to get these from here, or should they leave them with you after we finish? You'll get them, huh? Okay, now I leave the mic with you.
On our part as a group 2, we try to be more precise and direct. Under question 1, what are the skill gaps in the wage and self-employment? So addressing that, our first point was the mismatch between curriculum learned in school and also the market demand. And I can give a good example that whatever is taught I will give a good example with the universities. Whatever we gain from the universities, sometimes, like they always say that, kwa ground vitu ni. So when you go to the ground, actually, whether you are employed or you have internship, you have to be retrained. They will take you through a training for 3 years. And that is the reason why you see most of the private companies and also the public institutions, even the government. That is the reason why nowadays we have the PSC internships. And even the private sector, now as we speak, the job entry basically is through internships. You have to be retrained. So that is the reason why we came up with that point of the curriculum, what you learn in school, and also what is demanded in the market. Our second point was on inadequate information on procedures and regulations. Most of the youths, totally, they don't have these informations in terms of access even to training. Maybe this statement, I want to make a statement that you might be surprised. That even here in this institution, I'm sure a bigger percentage of students, they don't know even the core mandate of CoELIB for information. And they'll be out there looking for work. They'll be out there looking for the employment. They'll be out there thinking on how to come up with an internship. I mean, business venture. The third point under skills gaps, failure of the institutions to provide demand-driven courses. Whatever we still study back at the universities or the institutions, and we now really appreciate the government for rolling out curriculum in our TVETs. The reason why this is a strong point is that our courses, we take like 6 to 10 years for them to be reviewed. So in terms of the demand-driven courses back in our institutions, that is a total failure, and our response is too poor. Then the fourth, lack of mentorship and guidance on business ventures. As a youth, we don't have people to look up to in terms of coaching and just in terms of making sure that you are in the right steps and having the right guidance in the field, whether you want to do business or whether you want to be even in the creative industry. So, and the last one on this was limited financial management skills. We don't know how to manage our finances even with the simple skills like just to know what is the profit, to plan with that profit, and also even just to calculate your turnovers, to know your breakthrough. These simple skills of maybe more of that small economics in your business, it's a big problem. It's all about selling. You get the returns, you go again, order some, just like that. It's more of a gamble. To respond practically, under the same question one, where we talk about how would someone address the gaps practically. Point one, to push for market-driven curriculum, and this will be in terms of continuous benchmarking. This could be in terms of industrial attachments, exchange programs, on-job training. Point two, we highlighted on partnership and mentorship with the existing apps as the best way forward to address these practical problems. I mean practically how to address these gaps. Question two, the skills. Do you have a strategic workforce plan? Under this question, it was a bit more technical to understand it. So in our case, to be honest, we assessed ourselves and we realized that we don't have, where in our institutions, we don't have a strategic workforce plan. And my group members can support that. And so the another section to that question was, what are your skill needs in the next 5 years? In a hurry, we really highlighted the elephant in the room that is really needed. That is ICT skills. Number three, what is the role of hubs? We are highlighted 5, training, innovations, incubations, mentorships, and empowerment. Then there is a part of addressing the gaps. So there was a section whereby we asked, and how will the hubs address those gaps practically? So in our case, to address that, we highlighted that we need to develop and continuously review the curriculum based on specific needs or based on the demands from our market. Number 4, how do you wish to engage with the hub to fulfill your requirements and needs? To be precise again, we proposed collaboration, partnership, and networking. Yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Before we welcome Group 3, you can already see that there are some synergies in terms of the thinking and common points. Group 1 also took a very deep dive into the skills gaps. I mean, I'm not saying that Group 2 did not, but you can see when they unpacked it quite well in terms of, things like CV writing, yeah? Communication skills, yeah? soft and technical, yeah? So I like that approach as well. I also like also what Group 2 have done. The elephant in the room is ICT, yes, but let's also hear from the other group, but don't write on your sheet now because I'm going to say it. One of the other elephants in the room is that there is a tremendous, and I think some will talk about it tomorrow so that we get a bit more insight into that. There's a tremendous gap in terms of the provision of green jobs. In the next 5 years, almost all the jobs not almost all the jobs, they'll still be the conventional, but there'll be a lot more opportunities in the creation of green jobs. Right now, cars are going what? From fuel to? Who's going to repair them? Right now, whenever I take, just a quick example before Group 3, when I take the electric cab, there is a cab called No Pride in Nairobi, and you hear from some of the Uber drivers now when you take an Uber and you compare notes, they say, but those electric cars, nobody can fix them. How many jobs right now could be created in terms of just that? So I'm just opening up that debate. There are a lot of opportunities that will be coming in renewable energy and the creation of green jobs, but I think that's for tomorrow as well. And it's something that we need to think about in terms of future-proofing our interventions. Group 3, karibu. Group 1. Okay, I'm really getting old now.
Thank you so much. I think we took a lot of time brainstorming and discussing, and we left no time to write on the flip chart. But all the same, we are going to present what we discussed. So for question 1, it was asking on the skills gaps in wage and self-employment. And under wage employment, we mentioned that most of the youths, they lack technical skills. And as one of the groups have mentioned, it is due to the curriculum that is more of theory than the practicals. And we mentioned that training institutions should do more of practicals as opposed to theory learning. We also mentioned that under wage employment, most of the youth lack soft skills, such as there is negative attitude, there is lack of interest, and there is lack of passion in the area of specialization. It doesn't matter which field, and maybe it is due to like the course or that area of specialization. The course was chosen by maybe by a parent, and it was not the choice of that person. That would lead to that lack of interest, that negative attitude, and all that. And we mentioned that how to address it practically. We mentioned that there should be a review of the training approach so that the youth sees the whole value of what he does. That is the whole value of the wage employment. One of us was saying that the youth may see that anakusaidia sana, anakutajirisha sana, rather than don't see that they also get something out of that employment. So the training should be reviewed. It should also involve trying to tell them the whole value that on top of working for that wage, it is also a way of their personal development, progressing in their profession. Under self-employment, we mentioned that there is poor record-keeping skills among the youth, And I saw that one of the groups had mentioned, and we say that the youth should be provided with they should be trained on basic record-keeping skills. And I'm happy when we were in the cubicles there, I think it was on the African Dairy Academy, there was an app whereby you could keep your records on dairy production, health, how you can be able to keep your records and you ensure that they are safe. So that when you may want even financial support, the financial institutions would require the data that you've kept over time. We also mentioned that under self-employment, there is inadequate information there is inadequate information on the sector that the youth may be engaging in. And we said that to address that, there should be a structured training in order to ensure that we keep the youth up to speed on what is happening on the specific sector. Question 2. Do you have a strategic workforce plan? What are your skill needs in the next 5 years? We were able to come up with a few points. One, we said that there should be youth mentorship, innovation, and even incubation training, so that as trainers and as heads of the organization, we can be able to mentor the youth. Most of the time we train. I take, for example, myself as a trainer. I train, I equip the skills. The youth goes out to the labor market, but I don't have, I may not have that, the skills to trace them even after they get out of the institution. So we mentioned that there should be youth mentorship and incubation training skills that is needed to be able to address the skill needs that we have. Another one we mentioned is enhancing human resource management skills. As we are here, we are employers of the youth, so we should enhance our human resource management skills. I'm told it's 1 minute remaining, so I'll have to wind up. Another point is that we say that we should be updated on technological skills. There is technological change each day. Technology is dynamic, so we should keep being updated. We also mentioned that there should be continuous capacity building on climate smart technologies and other emerging issues. The issue of climate change is real, and even in our whole processes, we should be able to have that capacity to adapt to the changes in the climate change and other emerging issues. Role of the hubs, question 3. We said that I will only mention the ones that have not been mentioned because of time. Skilling and reskilling of the youth. We have also creating linkages of all the actors in the value chains. Like we are here, most of us have, some of us are from financial institutions, the hubs, it's themselves, the actors in the value chains, all of them. And part 3, there was another question on how the hubs would address the gaps practically. And we mentioned that the hubs should be holding such forums, and not only holding such forums, but ensure that there is active participation of all the actors. Finally, question 4. how do you wish to engage with the hub to fulfill your requirements, stock needs? And we mentioned that here as partners, our group discussed that there should be MOUs on how to partner with the hubs. Thank you.
Testing. Okay. Thank you very much, all the groups, for the work that you have put in. I think now we are beginning to see, some common areas of convergence in terms of how we are thinking, in terms of the skills gaps, in terms of who should be involved, and so on and so forth. I particularly also like that suggestion on the hubs now beginning to involve more and more private sector in such platforms, and also kind of institutionalizing these platforms so that there is constant debate and interaction with private sector. Because trust me, if we had more of them here, they would also say that they also have some skills gaps which they don't know how to address. Now, that is where we need to bridge, because they have some needs, we have some needs as well, and we need to bridge that, or we need to bridge those needs through creating those linkages very closely. But I like what has come out, and I think we're in the right place and moving in the right direction. Now, if you all look in your folders, we are now getting to the crux of the matter, where the rubber meets the road. You will find a form written, a matching point form. Or rather, you'll find a form, not written, but a matching point form. It says there, matching point form up there. Do we all have it? Yeah? We have it? Yeah. Okay. Now, the first question, okay, basically the form is just around incentives to participate in this particular project, and it has some particular questions which I would like us to answer. Not in group form this time, or not in a group setting, but individually. Yeah? Where two of us, for example, also belong to the same institution, we can sit together, but this should be answered individually, by each and every participant. The first question: what do you expect from your participation in JOY? I cannot give you a suggestion. You'll write what you expect. Yeah? Because your expectations are your expectations. In particular, what are the JOY services of your interest? So, financial institutions, those who own businesses here, IFAD investments, other hubs, for example, MESPT. What are the services of your interest? There are a few examples there. You can expound on them. What incentives would your enterprise need to participate in JOY? And there are a few suggestions there. Cost share, green jobs, apprenticeship, placement linkages for skilled youth, any other? What are the linkages? The third one. What are the linkages to stakeholders? in brackets markets, financial services, institutions, training institutions, etc., business and employment development services that you are looking for. So what linkages are you looking for as, with other stakeholders? Huh? Yeah? I'm just going through them for all of us, and it's almost over, the form. So enterprise opportunities to the youth in the Joy project. So this one is, what can you offer to Joy and to CoELIB as a hub in terms of employment opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, job trainings, curriculum development, and any other. So what can you offer to Joy? It's not about what can you only get from Joy, but what can you also offer? So Edward, for example, and Rema. Is it Rema? Yeah, I got that right, huh? Yeah? What are you able to offer as a financial institution as well to the project? Yeah? Is it, linkages to other financial institutions, for example? Is it participating, for example, in the curriculum development? Actually administering some of the modules as yourself, as Rema, or your staff? You had one of the things here that was mentioned by the groups was linkages to financial institutions as well, or lack of finance. Yeah? And business skills, especially for startups. Yeah? And financial skills, basic bookkeeping. It doesn't mean that CoELIB is, for example, has the core competencies to impart those skills. And that's why we want to work with institutions as well, such as yours, so that you're able to come, give those skills, not pro bono, but if pro bono, why not? Huh? Yeah? But anyway, that was on a light note, but those kind of things. But answer those as concisely as possible, because then these begin to form the basis for the relationship that you will be able to develop with the hubs. And that is why the last statement is the agreement with the hub. You have noticed that it is not agreement with Ustadi. Yeah? Because this project will come and, yeah? But when you have a lasting agreement with the hub, it goes beyond this project cycle, isn't it? And you engage as partners. One benefits from the other. Mutually beneficial relationship, isn't it? The hub benefits from other partners also benefit from the hub. And that's what we are looking for. And that's what makes this model now sustainable. That's what the government of Kenya wants as well. Yeah? If this works here, if this works at Shamberere, if this works at Pwani University, who says it cannot work with an organization or a hub if they set it up, or a hub, an existing place in Marsabit? Yeah? Or Eldoret. And that's how we begin to scale this up. So we need to develop a time frame or plan for a one-to-one meeting. Yeah? So we will fill that form in and say who do we want to meet and when. And we will follow up, not only as the project, but together. We follow up together and we walk this journey together. Yeah? So if we are planning to have a one-to-one meeting, say, and with the hub next week by this day, put it there. And on what? So, I don't know whether it's clear, or we had a very heavy lunch and we need to do some jogging outside. It's okay. Jogging under the rain is what we used to do in NYS. How many of you went through NYS? Eh? I can see we are not peers there. Eh? Yeah, but that was paramilitary training. So anyway. But anyway, are we following each other? Are we up to the task? Can we do this in the next half an hour?
Yeah, it's a start.
Just as a start, yeah? Okay. And the plan is that after this, then we shall, I don't know, maybe I give the mic to Valentina because
Yeah.
she seems to have something burning.
No, sorry. We had a field visit session right now, and of course it's pouring rain. So I don't know if Brian has something, a surprise for us. I don't know, ponchos for everybody, but maybe because of the rain, since the next session was open field tour to the CoELIB facilities and the incubar and its operations, we will take you there. Even if it's tomorrow, we will take you. But maybe the suggestion from Eric comes at the right time. If you're not too tired, are you guys okay? Do you need an energizer? You feel sleepy? Okay, I can ask someone, but as Eric was proposing, maybe it's a good suggestion to just start working on this, on the form that he just presented, for the time being, waiting for the rain to go, hopefully, or again, we can just move the open field tour tomorrow, it's okay. But guys, really, like as Eric said, this is an invite from us, be concrete. What are the profiles that you need? What are the skills? What are you looking for? And also, I wanted to add that, we started with this experiences fair, and you did great. It would be very important if you share with us those notes that you shared this morning, because of course, as I was telling Rehema, you mentioned many names and we couldn't take notes of all of them, and it's really important to have those in our report and in our, in everybody's notes. So we expect between today and tomorrow the experiences fair. And then we will give you more time to work on this format, don't worry. But it's good that you just start today to put your ideas down. I know Margaret already had the business modeling that you wanted to draw from CoELIB. So I'm sure you already have ideas, and it would be good to start today and continue working on your format, on your matching point format tomorrow, the day after. The day after, so it will be the last day of the learning route, and we will, each one of you, or each project, organization, or enterprise, will present to the whole group of colleagues, of stakeholders, your idea, your commitment towards certain partnership or certain synergies. We really ask for you to share with us what your plan is going forward after this learning route with the hub, as Eric was saying, with Joy Project. Yeah? All clear?
Yeah, just to reiterate then, I think Valentina has said it. Yeah. So, because we are not able to go out for the field tour, we can begin working on this. Huh? I gave you a 30-minute time frame, which was wrong. Let's just say by the end of this particular learning route, we have filled in everything and we are making a solid commitment. Yeah? So I just wanted to just reiterate that maybe not in 30 minutes, but by the end of this learning route, the next 2 days. Huh? But let's think about it. Let's think about those of us who have to discuss it with our superiors. This is your time.
It's written there. You can put down other names.
Yeah?
Of colleagues, of don't feel
So,
it's not your task. It's your organization task, your enterprise, your group, your team. So put down names. It's okay. Put down names that you want to include in this process, in this conversation, and we will add them also to the Google group, WhatsApp group if you need. But it's important to create this community together. Yeah. Questions? After the whole day together, few a remark, question, or feedback for us, maybe for the next day, what we can do better, what you want to hear more or less, or... Okay, I'll give you time to think about that and to start working on your plan, on your matching point format, as we called it. We are here, Eric, Morgan, Wilson, everybody who we've met in the team of CoELIB is here, so take advantage, sit them down. I already saw Rehema talking and really engaging in conversations with them. It's really special to be here together for 3 days, so don't lose this opportunity. Yeah? All right, so we are back with you guys in half an hour to just give you an update about tomorrow and about what will happen this evening. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Asa.